Hello, Mr. Usman. Welcome to Gesto's talk show. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
today, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm Usman, as you said. I live in Australia, in a city called Melbourne, which is, if you don't know, it's in the southeast part of Australia.
All right. So you have been living in Australia for long years. Can you please talk something interesting facts about Australia? I would like to know
Okay.
more about Australia.
Okay. Well, uh, as yeah, I've been living here for almost 14 years. I came here to study. I ended up staying here. I'm now a proud Australian citizen, and also I'm originally from Pakistan, so I'm an Australian Pakistani. I'm a dual national. Interesting thing about Australia. Okay, there's a lot of interesting thing about Australia. As you know, it's a country. It's a country and a continent at the same time. With lots of beautiful beaches. One interesting fact is if you visit one beach every day in Australia, it'll take you, I think, over 20 years for you to go and visit each one of the beaches. Apart from that, there's heaps of beautiful places to go and visit. It's a really nice place to come and visit, though it's a little bit far from the rest of the world. From everywhere, pretty much. It takes you forever to get here, but once you're here, people that have visited here, they would know it's a beautiful place to visit and also to live as well. The health system, the education system, just a whole lot. It's very safe. A really great country to live in. Doesn't have a lot of population. You've only got about 25 odd people living in a huge country, about the size of about US or just a little bit smaller. So there are a lot of places that are not populated, but you'd find mostly along the coast where you'll find population. Depends on and depending on where you are, the weather can vary. If you go up north, it's like more hot and dry, and if you go like south, it's like a little bit more cooler and more humid. So I'm from southeast, so the weather's not too hot here, but it can get a little bit cold.
Thank you so much for your amazing description about Australia. Anyway, kangaroos. It is a part of Australia, and I think your national animal. So, what about kangaroos in Australia?
Yeah, so obviously kangaroo. Like when you talk about uh, kangaroo, kangaroos, it's
Do you, I
well,
mean,
when you talk
do
about
you slaughter kangaroos for having?
sorry.
Do you slaughter kangaroos for meal or meat?
Yeah. So you can get kangaroo meat to eat. I've tried it personally. I personally didn't like it a lot. I think it was quite chewy and quite stiff. It's very hard to cook as well. I tried it in a barbie, so it could be that I might not have cooked it properly. But it's not a popular meat. I know it's a very popular animal. It's a national animal, but it's not a popular meat.
So,
And
what
that
are the other meats available in Australia?
Yeah, so you get pretty much everything, but the one of the most popular one is Angus, which is pretty much beef, a breed of beef, which Australia exported to the rest of the world. Uh, I don't know exactly which countries, but it does go out to a lot of countries. The lamb or sheep meat, that's very popular as well, and people, we export it everywhere. And then you can find you can find ostriches, you can find um, emus, you can find lots of different animals, and people try to eat and try them out.
Have you ever tasted camel or, like rabbit, deer?
Yeah. So I've actually had well, I wouldn't say a pleasure, but I tried deer about a year ago when I visited one of my friends up in the north of the country in a place called Townsville. So I tried deer there. I've tried camel in can't remember exactly, but it was one of the Arabic countries, one of the Arab countries that I visited. I tried camel food there as well. Um, I I personally liked deer more than camel. Camel, I think, was a little bit more fatty. It had a lot of like fats in it. But deer was like beautiful. It was, and the way he cooked it as well, that was just super amazing.
Interesting. So, have you visited Saudi Arabia? What was
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
experience over there?
Yeah, yeah. So I visited Saudi Arabia a few years ago. I can't remember exactly. I think it would be at least a good 8 years. Uh, Incredible experience. Obviously, it's a place where a lot of Muslims go and or would like to go. I went there to offer Umrah. If you know what that is, otherwise people can Google. And that was just a beautiful experience. I've been wanting to go there again, but just couldn't find time or just didn't happen. But hopefully, I have plans to visit there again in the near future.
Could I know more about your profession as well as education?
Yep. Okay. So I've done a double degree in engineering and business from Australia, from Usman University. In terms of my profession, I work as a business executive in a logistics and supply chain company. It's my full time job. Apart from that, I've got a couple of small businesses that I run as well. They're not that huge, but it's more around real estate and rentals and that kind of stuff. So I do that as well. And I also do a lot of volunteering as well. Well, I don't do it as much as I used to do when I was studying, but I still do a bit. Whenever I find an opportunity to go and have to help the community in any cause, really. I try to put my sleeves up and help.
Well, so you are very much interested in volunteering. Have you ever done any kind of volunteering, like global volunteering or national volunteering? Because social service is very important.
Yep.
Helping people is pleasing. So if you help someone on earth, the God and the sky will help you. There is a Quranic
Yeah.
verse or a sentence I have read on Quran. So what was your experience of doing volunteering or social works?
Yeah, look, to me, obviously it's very rewarding, and we come to this world to obviously to earn money to live and to have a great experience and to have everything that we need. Or, but at the same time, I think one of our responsibilities is to help people in need. So when I first moved here, I was a teenager, and I saw there was a need of people, wanting to settle here like myself. It took me a couple of years to find my feet here. So I joined this organization. It was in its initial stages, called the Pakistani Student Association of Australia, to helping Pakistani students and also other communities to come together and help international students in general. So I was volunteering. I started with being part of the committee member to becoming secretary to vice president to the president. That organization now has more than 100,000 members at the moment, across the country, and helps international students specifically from Pakistan to come and settle here. So I was very passionate and very happy to join that organization, and I think I did play a bit of role there as well. When I left, I then joined a semi-government organization called the Australian Federation of International Students. I was elected as the president there as well. That was across the country as well, and I served there for almost a year. Again, the motive was to help international students because that was close to my heart, because I did come in as an international student. That's what I wanted to do, and I kind of knew what the sufferings are and how difficult it could be for people to come and come from one country to a different country, not knowing what to expect, and the challenges that people face. It could be quite challenging. So I've worked on those quite a lot as well. Then I started, joining other organizations about, around education and poverty and all that kind of stuff. So I'm still part of some, and I try to give my time as much as I can.
do you like traveling? And what would you like to tell me about traveling? You know,
I look, yeah.
people must like traveling. So I think you must be fond of traveling. So you may have a lot to talk about traveling.
Yeah, look, traveling is one of the things I think I haven't come across a single person who says he doesn't like traveling. It's very rare that you'll find traveling, and the reason is because everyone wants to experience something different. It's just in our nature. We don't want to stay in the same place. We don't want to do the same thing. We just want to have something different experience, just to get away from your everyday life. So like others, I do love traveling, and I've been very fortunate enough to travel to a number of countries. I've been to about 26 odd countries so far, and still want to travel more as well. And again, quite similar. I love culture. That's one thing I love, and you don't actually experience a different culture till you travel to a place where the culture is from. You might come across, you know, say for instance, you might meet people from, say Thailand, and you might go to a Thai restaurant, and you might try their food. But unless you actually go to the country, which is Thailand, you're not going to be able to experience it as well. So that is my passion, and I travel and I make videos and upload all that kind of stuff. I do that a lot. And yeah.
So how many countries have you already visited?
From memory, at 26, 26, I think.
Wow, 26.
So yeah,
Amazing.
26. Yeah, it's
Can you
it's still
say
quite
can you
small
say
compared to
names of
200.
those countries, not 23, but some special
Yeah,
countries that you
I can't
liked?
say I can't remember the whole 26, but look, the ones that are the ones that I enjoyed, and like to go, and I've been there more than one times. So Indonesia is one of them. Indonesia is a beautiful country. I like it because it's affordable, it's safe. There's a
Full
lot
of
to do.
islands.
Yeah, there's a lot of nature.
And the
Um,
people would be more
People
kind
are amazing,
and
very
benevolent.
kind. Yep, very, 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 very kind, and very
They don't have
welcoming.
haughty or jealous envy mind. Their
Nah,
heart is
nah.
so beautiful.
Yep, they're very welcoming. I loved Maldives as well. That was amazing. Switzerland was pretty good. South Africa was really nice. And Canada was pretty good as well. And the north of England was amazing. So that was just pure, really nice as well. But look, every country you go to, you find something good or something bad. I
So
just try to not.
you visited Switzerland. What are the special things you find there?
Yeah, I think it's just a beautiful country, right? Like it's full of mountains, glaciers. There's they've got this
Have
really
you
nice
have you enjoyed the
train
beauty
system.
of the nature? I mean the
Yes.
tourist places.
Yeah. So I was I went to a few places in Switzerland, and it was all just really beautiful. The train system is super amazing as well. If you go on a train in Switzerland, a lot of them, they go on the mountains, and they go around the mountains. That's just beautiful, and it's very scenic. It is a very, very expensive country to go to, more expensive than any other country that I've visited. Really expensive to buy, even McDonald's. It's super
Yeah,
expensive,
I
but
heard
it's worth it. Yeah.
people would say they aspire to go there, Switzerland, because it's a
Yep.
very amazing, beautiful place.
It
So
is.
what about the people over there? Their hospitality.
In Switzerland in particular, no, I think they were okay. Like they were nice. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. Like I didn't have any complaints. So, I didn't come across any negative experience. So I think any
What about
not
their
negative
language?
experience there. Yeah, speak English. I mean, most of them could speak English. So that's one of the things that you struggle with as well. If you go to a country and people can't speak English or a common term, then it makes it a little bit difficult. But no, I didn't have any problems in Switzerland. Most
So I
countries that
think
you
it
go to
is
these days, it's
situated
just
in
easy.
European.
Yeah. So it's right next to like Italy and in between like Italy,
Europe,
France. I think somewhere around there. Yeah, it's in Europe. Yeah, yeah.
maybe north of the Europe or southern
I
part.
think it's like the southeast kind of side. Yeah, it's like yeah, a bit central. Like yeah. But look, other countries, you go to these third world countries and you get surprised how good people are. They are amazing. Like people in Philippines or people in Indonesia, they're like super kind and really open and very welcoming. So I
Yeah,
think that's just really good to see. Even though they
I
are
think
living in
people.
difficult.
Yeah,
Yep. Sorry.
continue.
No, I
So
was
I
just
think
saying.
people in Japan, Korea, China, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, those people have same behavior and their culture interrelated.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Their
Yeah.
way of dressing, their accent,
Yeah.
a little
It's a bit
similarity.
they have similarity, but then there's differences as well. Like each country you go to, you'll find some sort of similarity, but then there's something different as well. Uh, in terms of like obviously China is not a third world country, so that's that's a developed country. So you'd find that a little bit different, like in terms of people and their behaviors and stuff. Like it's a little bit different to maybe a third world country like Indonesia or Philippines. Uh,
Are they
but
selfish?
there
Chinese?
no, I wouldn't say they're selfish. I wouldn't say anyone's selfish. Let me tell you something, about China. And this is something I recently learned about China as well, that apparently there's a law that you can't speak, and I could be wrong here as well, but this is what I heard from a Chinese friend, that you can't talk bad about the country. It's a law. So if you do from anywhere in the world and you go visit China, uh, they can actually put you behind bars. So I'm just always like since then I'm just always like very careful when I talk about China. But it's not because I'm scared to talk about them. It's just it's a different country and it's developed, but language is a problem there. People most people can't speak English. When you can't really speak the same language, it becomes difficult for a traveler. Um,
I found that they have great mother tongue influence while they speak English, like India and Pakistan. Am I right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, what about China? Have you visited China?
Yes. So I visited China. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. So I've been to Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. I visited China in 2019 in January as well. When the whole pandemic started as well. So it wasn't a great time to visit. Funny
Do
story.
they
Yep,
do they
sorry.
eat snake, cockroach, and even a turtle or a kind of what to say, fox? Sorry, frog.
Yeah, yeah, frog. Yeah, I think they do. I don't know exactly what animals that they eat, but I've seen them eating. Like I've seen like a lot of like different animals that you wouldn't find in other countries, but they do. Yeah.
I
Uh,
think snake is their favorite meat.
yeah, I think yeah, snake's quite popular. Uh, yeah, rats and yeah, but you can go to Thailand and you'll find people eating rats and snakes as well. Um, yeah,
But we can't imagine as Indians. We eat,
uh,
beef, chicken, mutton, these three.
yeah, yeah. The most like I've tried a few meat like other than this, but not to that level. Like I haven't tried a snake or a rat or a frog. I don't think I can. But I'm a huge fan of seafood, so I've tried crabs and lobsters and different kind of fish. Um, yeah.
So have you accepted the mixed culture, or still you are following the Pakistani culture?
Um, Look, there's the acceptance is there like from the start, right? You got to accept the culture, and people do what they want to do, and they can be free to do what they want to do. Obviously, I've got the roots, and I do try to follow my own culture, but at the same time, I think being but following the culture doesn't mean you can't indulge, and get involved with other cultures as long as it doesn't conflict. And I think most cultures don't conflict with other cultures. It's all about, the values, and they're quite aligned with across the cultures, right? So I think I'm quite accepting that way.
Well, so what about your religion? Sorry for asking. And
No,
how
I'm
about
Muslim.
the
That's okay.
culture in Australia where you live in, and can you cope up with them? And is there any problem for that to perform your worship and to offer your prayers? And do you get
Not
any
at
kind of
all.
challenge or?
Not really, not at all. I'm Muslim, and you've got mosques here. You've got, um, yeah,
I think
you've got mosques.
majority of Australians are Christians. Am I right?
Yeah,
The
I'd
population,
say yeah, Christian or Catholic. Yeah,
Christianity is the
yeah.
major,
But
I
it's
think.
such but it's such a multicultural country that you can't really, like, religion is not really something that you'd find has has a huge impact in the country. You wouldn't find in the culture that a religion is playing a big part. Where, you go to some of the countries where you'd find that it's actually influencing people and influencing, impacting the culture of the country. It's not the case here. People are very multicultural. They come from different cultures, different religious backgrounds, and everyone's free to practice their religion. Um, we got heaps of mosques here, so I go to the mosque without any challenge at all. I've never had any problem.
So I would like to come to your place, Australia, at this moment. Can you please travel my mind to the um, taking me to beautiful places? Yeah,
Like how? I don't know how can I do that.
I have strong imagination power, so let it go. You can take me to different places, beautiful garden, park, and rainfall,
Okay.
or the waterfall, mountains, many other tourist places like beaches.
Yeah, there's heaps. So, but I don't know how to take you. Like, just imagination.
Not like a story or a documentary, just like you can introduce the beautiful places so that I can
Ah,
enjoy
okay.
listening to
Yeah, yeah.
your beautiful
Okay.
words. At the same
Okay.
time,
Well,
I can think
you
about.
can picture it. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, well, uh, well, say if you like, if you come to Australia, the some of the places that you must visit. The first one I'd say Melbourne, because it's just such an amazing city. Melbourne's full of life. It's a hub where you'd find events happening all the time. You'd find you can go to the downtown to the city, and you'd find this beautiful place called Federation Square, which is like the center of the city, and also host a lot of events, uh, a lot of cultural events, a lot of just different types of events. Uh, there's a beautiful Yarra River in Melbourne, just that flows across the city. A beautiful place you can go and have a cup of tea or coffee, or enjoy lunch or dinner. There's heaps of restaurants and stuff, bars along all along. There's really nice beaches not too far from the city as well. You can go and have a beautiful time at the beach. It doesn't get really warm here, so the beaches are not that hot, but there are very very beautiful crystal clear water beaches here with white sand. You can then go up to Sydney, which is the busy city, or you can go up to the Opera House, which is one of the wonders of the world. The Harbour Bridge is just spectacular, beautiful bridge. You can see the whole city pretty much from there. Sydney has some of the most beautiful parks, and again very beautiful beaches there as well. You can do whale watching there. There's heaps of whales. They migrate and goes along that coast. Then you can go up to Gold Coast and Brisbane and Sunshine Coast. These three cities are literally right next to each other. It takes you about 40 minutes to drive from one to the other. Really, really popular because they've got tropical weather, and it's just really nice to go and hit the beach there as well. Uh, Gold Coast has a lot of theme parks. You've got the Disney World, the Movie World, the Wet and Wild. You can enjoy those parks, depending on what you like. Again, if you keep going up north, you'd find heaps of nice coastal towns, rich of culture, rich of heritage. There's heaps of beaches there as well. You can swim, enjoy. There's a lot of rainforest up north as well. We've got one of the most oldest rainforests, or a lot of heritage here as well. There's a lot of waterfalls. If you like hiking, you just can't get bored. There's so many mountains you can hike here. Like it's just not even funny. You can go up the north, and you'll find sort of central north. You'll find deserts, and you'll find a different infrastructure altogether. You can go to the west, and the west coast is super beautiful as well. Heaps of nature, really nice places. And then you can come to the super south, and there's an island called Tasmania, which I visited last weekend, and that's just full of nature, really nice. It's just very hard to describe how beautiful it is. It's just unless you see it, the ocean's beautiful. You can do whale watching there as well. There's heaps of mountains, heaps of cliffs you can climb, and a beautiful culture. Like each of one of the states got their own beautiful culture as well. Yeah.
It reminds me of my childhood. Cricket. I was really crazy about cricket in my childhood. When I was studying SSLC or senior secondary, I was really fond of cricket, about Australia, Ricky Ponting, Adam Gilchrist, the wicket keeper. So, I was really, I used to watch each and every cricket matches. So what do you think about cricket? And I think Australia is a land of cricket. And what is the national sport of Australia? Is it cricket or any other?
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, I think it's footy, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. Let me just quickly check. Oh yeah, it is cricket actually. So before coming here, I don't know, there's a sport called footy, which is the Australian football, and it's different to rugby, and it's different to any other sport in the world. This is their own sport, and it is somewhat similar to rugby. That I think is the most popular sport here. Cricket, I would say number two, because you don't have that much fan following for cricket. But in terms of cricket, I play cricket myself as well. I play for a club, and I think unlike Pakistan or India, the cricket board, or the cricket the organization, how they organize cricket, and the facilities that's available, is just a different level altogether. You've got small clubs where you can go and play and register. You don't have to pay any fee. Mostly you don't have to pay fee. If you play good, you get paid as well on a grassroots level as well. You don't need to be super good at play. And there's heaps of ovals and grounds where you can go and play if you register with a club, or if you don't register as well, you can just go and play. Same with other sports as well. You've got football, you've got which is soccer, and you've got footy and rugby and all the other sports as well.
I suppose there would be many cricket stadium.
Oh, hey, there's one just around the corner from my house, and within a 5-kilometer radius, I think I could say there would be at least 5 good size, a full proper cricket grounds, with turf pitches and accessible to the public. So there's heaps of place to go and play, and there's heaps of resources, and clubs are just always welcoming new players. If you want to go play for a club, just go there, register, good, do your trials, and just you're in pretty much.
What normal people play, cricket or football? What about youngsters in Australia?
As I said, footy is more common. People play footy, but footy is only played in winter. And cricket mostly is only played in summers because winter is not really a good time to play here. It does rain a lot, especially in Melbourne. So I know people who would play footy during winters, and
Sorry, what
they
is that?
play
Footy.
footy, yeah, FOOTY,
Footy.
footy.
Oh,
Yep,
I haven't
Australian
heard it
football.
before.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
is it
it's
just
played
like
with a
football? Just
no,
throwing?
it's like
No.
rugby, right? It's like
Right.
rugby, right? Football, as
Okay.
in soccer, it's not like soccer. It's more like rugby, but not quite like rugby. They've got their own rules. So a lot of people play footy during winter season, and they play cricket during summer season. So they play two sports.
So can you describe how it could be played? Is it easy or difficult? Have you ever
Oh
tried?
no, it's
Or
no,
you
yeah,
might
yeah. I've
seen?
tried. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of matches, and I've played myself as well. I don't. So it's a little bit similar to rugby, right? Where it's just more. There's more rules around, like pushing and that kind of stuff. Like there's less pushing, and what you do is the ball's quite similar. It's oval. You basically carry the ball. You can bounce it. You can kick it. You can pass it to the other player, and then the point is to take it to the other post, and kick it through the poles. There's like two poles in between, and there's like two on the side. If you manage to kick it between the two in the middle, you get 6 points. And then if it's from the other side, it's like 1 point each. And then obviously you gotta you get score, and then at the end whoever's got the highest score, they win the match.
I think it is included in Olympics, right?
No, no, it's not included in the Olympics. It's only played in
Li-
Australia. Only
Like
Australia.
football and cricket. Football and
Yeah.
cricket are not included in Olympics. Am I right?
I, I think soccer, football is now, if I'm not wrong.
Mhm.
But cricket isn't. But this is only played in Australia. It's called
So, Mr. Usman, your English is amazing. No words about that in my dictionary. Anyway, can you please tell me how did you learn English language this way? And how could you pronounce the words and how could you speak faster? So you are speaking better than Australian or people living in those countries, like, native English speakers. So how did you develop your English speaking capacity?
yeah. So thank you first of all. I think you obviously you got to start whatever you start from an early age. The earlier you start learning something, the better you get. So I've been learning English since I was young, and went to schools where the mode of communication and teaching was English, so that helped. But then English, like any other thing, like for example, like driving, right? You learn how to drive, and then you drive, and then you might, firstly you got to learn it, right? You need to know which one's the accelerator, which one's brake, which one's the gear. You need to know the theory. So firstly, you learn the theory, and then you then go and start driving with an instructor. Like you need an instructor to sit next to you. If you skip any of these two steps, there is a good chance you'll get into a car accident. So it's step by step. Learn the basics, learn your grammar, learn your all the structures and whatnot, like whatever you need to learn, and then take help from an instructor. Join some meetings, join some classes where you actually can learn a little bit, build that confidence, and then start building on it. So when we start driving, pretty much everyone, start driving car. We go with an instructor. They take you to the small streets. Then they eventually take you on the main road. Then they let you drive yourself, and then you start driving slow, and then you start driving fast. You go from the left lane to the right, and then you start driving really fast. If you try to jump any of these steps, you will fail. So I don't, you know, talking fast or talking, in an accent is not really that important. The important thing is that you do everything step by step. People try to jump, and when they try to jump, that's when the problem comes. I hope that
Could
makes
I
sense.
ask you about the pronunciation and the accent? Did you practice pronunciation and accent, the fluency and
Yep.
the phonetics? So, how was your practice? How did you do those practice?
Yeah. So the pronunciation, I think I learned it at school. And and in terms of accent, I try to speak clear as much as I can. Like I try not to go very fast. I know sometimes I do, and it's funny. Like depending on who I'm talking to, I sort of I pick up their style of talking, and I start talking that way. Like you're talking very clear, like you talk very clear, and I know, and I can pick that, and I can talk to you like that. But I might be talking to someone who doesn't talk very clear. You've got a lot of people here, a lot of Australians, they don't talk clear. I'm sorry to say, but a lot of people likes to mumble, and you don't know what they're saying. And I've got this bad habit that I pick up that, I pick that up, and I start talking like them, and I start talking really fast, which I try to control. I think it's important that we have our own style, and the most important thing is not to talk fast, not to have an accent. Is the most important thing is just to talk clear in a flow, like in a really nice smooth flow. Right, you're driving a car, no bumps, not going fast and slow and fast and slow. Just go in a flow, a pace that you can maintain. If you're going very fast and then you're slowing down and then you're going fast and slow, I think that just doesn't sound good in the ears.
So the words must be produced pretty much clear in order
Yep.
to make understand the listener. If we speak faster, the listeners cannot understand what we are really intended to. People from native English speaking countries, Australia, England, America, they speak faster and we can't follow them even if we open the BBC or NDTV or any English news channel.
Yep. I
We
think,
can't understand, we can't follow them. They are
yeah.
moving so fast, just like a
Yep.
car goes.
Yep. And I think, look, you can talk fast as well, but as long as you talk clear, there's one thing talking fast. You can really talk fast if you want to, and you can make sense to the other person, like how I talk fast right now. Or you can say, I can really talk very fast, like I can mumble and it wouldn't make sense. Like what I don't like is people mumbling. Talk clear, and then so that it makes sense. And you need to be careful of the audience as well, right? Like it depends on who you're addressing it to. Like if you have again, so if I talk to someone who's mumbling, I can talk fast with them and they would understand because that's the way they talk. So I think you need to be careful of your audience as well. But I think as long as you talk clear and pronounce your words properly and go in a flow, you can talk fast or slow, it doesn't matter.
I think most of the English learners, their challenge is just like, native English speakers, they just roll the words in their mouth and they just
Yep.
they pronounce it clearly, but to the listeners, it will be totally difficult to make out what they are really speaking. So if
Yep.
we speak clearly, it would be easy to the listener to respond to us.
Yep. Look, to
So if we
to to
speak
list.
like a news anchor or a news reader, it's not acceptable to the common folks. They have
Yeah.
to listen to each words separately or the phrases.
Yep, definitely. And what I would say to the people learning English, is not to worry about not being able to understand certain people, and that's totally fine because they were born with that language and they've been speaking that language for a long time. They can speak that language really fast, which is totally fine. What you need to do is obviously try to learn how to listen and improve your ability of listening. And I think one of the best things that people can do is obviously watch something on TV, but watch something that is, again, don't jump steps, right? Like the first step is listen to something which is easy to understand. Listen to something with subtitles. So I feel like uh, in the kids movies or animation movies, they they tend to speak things more clearly, and it's not as quick as that, because I think they're focusing on kids to understand what they're saying, so they don't go as fast. If you watch a Hollywood movie, I don't know, like any movie, they tend to speak a lot faster, use a lot of slang, and often they don't actually speak English properly as well. So if anything, you're actually not learning a lot from watching those kind of things, if that's your aim. If your aim is to watch something to learn, to have the ability to listen and understand, I think start with something basic. Start with animation movies, start with cartoons. People might not like it, but that's not the point. The point is you're there to learn. So and there's heaps of really nice animated movies. A lot of people say, oh, but I'm not a kid. I don't like to watch animation movies. But hey, hang on a sec. You're watching it to learn, right? Just watch it, and there's good movies out there. There's heaps of Disney movies that you can watch. Watch it with subtitles. Then you'll get to a point where you notice that I can actually understand what they're saying without reading the subtitle. Turn off the subtitles, and then you go to the next step. Start watching news. News is like they speak good English, but it's a little bit difficult because they use words that are not very commonly used. And then once you've done that, once you've mastered that, then move on to watching Fast and Furious or whatever movie you want to watch, and then try to understand.
To be frank, I would like to speak faster, but I can't. I don't know. Anyway, I am really interested in watching the great YouTubers like Lingua Marina, Alicia, and Arnell, and many more.
Yep.
They are speaking crystal clear, and even though
Yep.
they are native English speakers, and I like them very much, and they teach English in a better way because
Yeah. And
in India, English is just like a business. Those who have
yeah.
attended a spoken English course for 1 month or 2 months, after that they become an English trainer, and they proudly
Mm,
announce that they are English trainer, and they teach people. I don't know, with the broken English.
yeah. No, look, what I would say is your English is very good. It's, to me, the most important thing is it's clear, and you're making sense and using your grammar correctly. And I think one of the biggest misunderstanding of people is that every native
But
English speaker,
pause.
sorry,
But I
yeah.
can't accept that you have said, I'm still learning. I am just
Well,
polishing
we're
my
all
English.
learning. I
Uh,
mean, we're all learning, right?
because
And
I'm Indian. I have
yeah,
Indian accent, and I have mother tongue influence. So I would like
it's
to follow British accent. I like
yep,
British accent very much. Even I speak with foreigners from America. They
yep,
always motivate me. Your British accent is pretty much good, so keep going.
yeah,
And I would say I'm still learning.
yeah. And we're all learning, right? Like we just need to continue learning. And I was saying, one of the biggest misunderstanding of people is that native speakers are the way to go. It's not true. I found a lot of native speakers who don't know how to speak English properly,
Yeah.
even though they've been
Yeah.
speaking English for a long time, but that they just don't say it properly.
That's their mother tongue, but they commit a lot of mistakes in, especially in grammar and
Yeah,
kind of vocabulary. So
yeah,
even they are born and brought up in English, but they have
yeah,
limitations. And I know people from India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or some other region, they speak clearly than a native English
yeah.
speaker. So
Definitely,
it's
definitely.
based on reading and listening. The more
Yeah,
you read and listen, you'll be able to produce that particular language in a better way or in a
definitely.
beautiful way. So I'm a Malayali Keralite. I live here in Kerala, chiefly known as God's own country. But
Yeah,
I'm not expert in Malayalam. I can't speak Malayalam in a good way.
no,
Why? Because I'm not reading. I don't have the
yeah,
habit of reading. I don't have the habit of listening to news or podcast or any kind of informative facts. But
yeah.
still, I'm trying to speak Malayalam, my mother tongue, in a better way. So,
Yep.
the more we try, the more we will be able to handle that particular language. That I strongly believe that. What do you think about that?
I agree. I agree. Definitely. It's all about practice, it's just all about practice. The more you practice, and obviously, you gotta get your basics correct. If you get your basics wrong, if you get into a bad habit at the start, you'll always have that bad habit. So it's always, it sounds nice and cool to talk fast and to say things really really quickly, but you might that doesn't necessarily mean you speak the language really good.
When I
And
speak
we're all
English,
learning.
when I speak English, I myself found there are many mistakes, but I don't mind.
Same.
But sometimes I feel a kind of insecurity or a kind of dizziness because I'm a trainer. I commit mistakes or
Yeah.
grammatical errors. It's not good because people follow me and they would like to get good English. So I'm focused on those kinds of little mistakes. Sometimes
Yeah.
big mistakes.
No, look, and it's common. Your English is good, as I said. It's and if it's perfect, I don't think anyone speak it perfect, and it's very hard to get to the perfection stage. But the fact that you are wanting to learn and picking up on your mistakes, that's something you should always have. And myself as well. I try to sometimes listen to myself, and you realize, when you make a mistake, you realize, and sometimes you go like, how did I make that mistake? Like, that's such a big mistake. I write a lot of emails, across to clients, to senior business people and CEOs and whatnot. And sometimes I type it and I send it, and then forget to proofread it and read it after, and realize that I made a massive mistake. And it's all part of the learning, right? Like, but the fact that you are wanting to learn, and anyone who's learning wanting to learn, I think if you've got that attitude, you'll just get better and better.
I don't know why people are much more concerned about their mistakes while they speak.
Yep.
Imagine a magic. This is a concept, real
Yep.
fact that I'm going to tell you. If you speak your native language or mother tongue, you might commit a lot of mistakes knowingly or unknowingly while speaking. But when you speak English, if any other listener listen to your mistakes, they will focus on it. Oh, this is not correct. This is he has to is wrong. He has to is
Yeah.
right. He how to is wrong. So you want to say
Yeah.
he has to. So we don't
Yep.
want to correct the mistakes, and we have to follow the flow, as you said. And the fluency
Yep.
is very important. Never ever think about the grammatical aspects,
Yep.
in my opinion. But grammar is essential.
Yep.
But to communicate with people, grammar is not at all essential, because
No.
in Malayalam, I don't know the grammar. There are
Yep.
many rules, but I
Yep.
don't know. I didn't learn it. Still, I
Yep.
can speak Malayalam, I can write Malayalam, I can listen, I can read. I am pretty
Yep.
much good at those area, but not perfect. So like that, why people can't consider English language like that? When people speak English, they are worried about their mistakes and they are fear of mistakes. That's why
Yep.
they can't speak English better way, and
Yep.
that's why they lack confidence. That's why that kind of fear pulling them back. I think so.
Yep.
What do you think?
No, I totally agree. Look, as much as grammar is important, as you said, when it comes to when it comes to just having a conversation, and mostly we just have informal conversation. It's not really that formal in most situations. You just need to stop worrying about, just go with the flow and say what you have to say, and then you can come back and listen to yourself, or realize and pick your own mistakes. But yeah, I think confidence is like a key. If you don't have confidence, you can't speak any language. I agree.
Are you crazy about music? Because music plays a vital role in our entertainment life or a happy life. So, what do you think about
Yeah.
music?
Yeah, I love music. I'm not crazy. when you say crazy, I listen to music every day, pretty much. I don't know, a few times a day. But I'm not crazy enough to know who the singer is, or what's going on in that singer's life, which I know some of the people know. Like they'll listen to a song and they say, "Oh, this is a singer. This is what he's doing in his life." I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Oh, this is a song, and I'm like, I don't know what the song is, but just like the music. I listen to music from different countries, obviously English and Urdu, but obviously Hindi as well. But I also listen to Arabic music. I listen to a lot of Spanish music. I
What
absolutely
kind
love
of
that.
music are you fond of? I mean,
Everything,
melodious or DJ pop? So,
everything. You'd be yeah. I'm like, I don't know. Like It's weird, right? Like people like one style than the other. To me, it just depends on on my mood. I can play anything. And I've got heaps and heaps of song, and I've got because I love music, I've got the YouTube Premium version, because then I can download, and I start making playlists, and I've got like playlists for English, playlists for Spanish, playlists for Arabic, and all, like pretty much everything. Uh, so I like it all.
do you play any instrument? Guitar, violin, drum,
No,
or
no, nothing. No, I tried guitar and drum for a little bit, like, but not really. I wouldn't say I can play it. Like it's just like super basic.
most of English club members, our Gesto International English club members, they are good at the violin and especially the guitar. One
Yeah,
day we had a
it
session, a music session. At that time,
really
they brought their guitar and
instrument.
they started
Nice.
singing. I was really astonished listening to their
Yeah,
beautiful voice and their instrumental, their flow of playing the instrument. So
I mean, I've tried, but I haven't been able to come across. I'm not really that motivated, and I'm not that passionate about playing an instrument. I'm more of a listener, and I'm the person who just sit there and enjoy someone playing something.
I think you must be practiced a lot. You have been living in an English country for long years. That would be greatly uh, influenced to you, that one thing. Normally, people, those who are good at English, if they are expert, they wouldn't like to express, or they wouldn't like to say the their their road to the success, or how they improve their language. So, can you please reveal the reality? What was the real practice that you done in your life to better your English? Have you attended any course like spoken English or communicative English? So, what was the real practice that you done in your childhood
Yep.
or in your teenage adult?
So as I said, like during my schooling age, I was the school that I was studying in. The mode of teaching was English, and they play, they made a really big emphasis on English. You know, during our recess time, where your break time, you weren't allowed to speak in your other language. You need to speak in English. And I think also because I did a lot of public speaking growing up. That helped me build confidence, but I also did public speaking in English as well, and that helped me improve as well. So as part of the British Council, I think it was called like some youth program, and you'd go and speak and on a topic. So that really helped as well. But I think I really always have focused on uh, being confident, and also being able to speak right. And I've always been wanting to speak to people. So when I moved here, I started looking for a job where I could actually speak to people, rather than doing a job where I'm behind the counter, or um, not sort of interacting with people. So, and I was lucky enough to find a job in sales, working in a store that didn't pay a lot. Like, it didn't pay as much as some of the other jobs would have paid me, like cleaning or other stuff. But I learned a lot from that, and I also started teaching here as well. So, as a tutor, when I was studying, I was teaching, a bunch of kids, in their different years of studies and different subjects and whatnot. Like, I've done a lot of that as well. So that really helped me as well. And I just took everything step by step. When I moved here, my English was pretty good as well, but then I think it has improved, obviously. And I pretty much speak in English most of my day, because I'll be either on the phone with a client or speaking to my manager, or during work as well. We just speak English. That really helps a lot as well.
So, dear Usman, let me ask you, before migrating to Australia, or before traveling to different places, how was your condition? I mean, your English. So, could you speak like this at that time?
Not quite like this, but my English was still pretty good. Uh, I gave my IELTS before I moved here, and I had about seven bands before I moved here as well. So the study and the school really helped me, I think, and a lot of public speaking during school time as well. That helped me, but it has improved, right, like a lot now,
Very
I
good.
think.
I strongly believe that experience is very important. We have to live in English, as I did. I live in English.
Yeah,
English is my bread and butter. English is my cup
yeah,
of tea. English is my blood. So, I'm really enthusiastic about English. So
yeah,
that's why I could speak a little this way even.
yeah,
So we have to practice. Practice makes a man perfect. So English development or speaking enhancement is really based on our hard work. We must be practice clearly and perfectly. So I think we have to live in in people who are speaking English, and it will be very easy for us to deal with it. Automatically we will learn. So A, B, C, D, or in English vocabulary, grammar, and many other tenses, that no need to learn those things. Especially I'm talking about the grammar. So if we speak to people continuously, confidently, it would be the real practice, rather than going to a spoken English center or learning by watching videos or listening to some podcasts or reading books. No, millions of English learners out there. They would like to polish their English, but they are not ready to practice. They are not even ready to spend a little time to have better practice. That is a major fault, or that is the great challenge. What do you think about
yeah.
that?
No, I totally agree. Definitely, you can't learn something without practicing and dedication. You need to be dedicated and be motivated to do it as well. Um, if you really want to
Listening
do it,
is
and
very important. Listening is
yeah,
very important. How we
definitely,
listen, that way we can utter the words. We can
exactly,
produce new sentences. We can think about new sentences. So the sentence construction, the pattern of the sentence is
yeah,
very important.
definitely.
And moving back to Australia, what are the other interesting facts about Australia? You didn't say about food. I would like to know about food
Uh,
in Australia.
Look, there's heaps of food. Like, you'll find food from pretty much every part of the world here. The fact that it's very multicultural, you've got places to go and eat about, pretty much everything. There's nothing that you wouldn't find here. And it was when I moved here, I found many different cuisines that I tried and I loved. Um, I've been I've been eating a lot of Mexican food, which I absolutely love. Italian food is really good as well. I do love Pakistani food as well, but
I think sandwich
uh,
is originated in Mexico, right? Sandwich or burger,
uh
pizza,
sorry, uh, pizza is I think from Italy.
Italy.
Sandwiches, Mexico is more like tacos, or nachos, like that kind of food. That's from Mexico. Um, I had a I had a Spanish food today. It's called empanadas. It's from like Colombia, Venezuela. That's what I have today. I love Brazilian food. That's really nice as well. Uh, but there's heaps of different food that you can try here as well. A lot of Malaysian food, a lot of burgers, and like you just name it, right? It's just not one type. There's so many different types. There's so many different cuisines that you can try here, and they're all very good.
So, what are the other differences you you could find between India or Pakistan and Australia? What are the differences
Uh, like in terms of the food, or like in general?
in terms of general? Yeah,
Oh, in
about
general, okay.
dressing, about their appearance, about their style, culture, everything.
Yeah, I think well, Pakistan or India, they've got very strong cultures, and um, being an Australian doesn't necessarily mean you've got a specific culture, because
I think
uh,
people from Pakistan and India, they are much more religious.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think they've got they're religious, they're more cultural, and uh, they were in somewhat a bit conservative as well. But here it's just different. Everyone's just open. You can do whatever you want to do. But like there's a lot of freedom. Like you can do whatever you want. I'm not saying there's not freedom in Pakistan. There's freedom there as well, but it's just different mindset, I think. In terms of like opportunities and stuff, I think there's a lot more opportunities for you to, develop and have a good career. You can make some good money here. The pay scale is really high compared to Pakistan or most of the other countries. I think the pay scale is just very very good. So even if you are if you're working in a store or doing an odd job, you'd still be able to make good money.
So, what else? What about your other hobbies? Reading, cycling, swimming, jogging,
Yeah,
gym,
yes.
driving. What about
I
these actually?
I do a lot of I play a few sports. Well, I do swim, not regularly, but like probably once a week. I go and play volleyball at the beach. I like that. Play cricket. Like that as well. I love watching sports. Any sport, I just like watching it. Love watching Netflix. Listening to music. I've got some good sound systems at home that I've installed just because I really like it. And I apart from traveling, I love driving as well, because that's kind of like part of traveling. If you travel, you got to drive or commute, and I think driving is pretty good as well. Um, I really like cars and driving different cars, and going to different places. Um, yeah,
Right. All right. So, I think you are a Cristiano Ronaldo's fan. Your hair, you try to grow your hair like from CR7 style. So, what about your football craziness? Do you have crush on any football player? Who is your
I
favorite football
I
player?
don't have any crush on any male player. I'm very straight. No, but I like to watch it. I'm not a huge fan, or I'm not like a massive follower of any sport. I just watch whatever's on. I'd watch soccer match or a UFC match or basketball or whatever it is, whatever's on. But I don't really follow, to every single player in every single sport. But if something's on, I watch it.
But here in India, it's totally different. Here, if you meet children, a gang of children or a group of
Yeah.
children, maybe teenagers or even adults, they would ask you about your fan. Oh, are you Cristiano's fan or Neymar or Messi? Say, they would ask. Many children
Yeah.
asked me when I worked in several schools,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Fair
I
enough.
would like to say, as per their intense desire. Some majority people may be fan of Messi, so at that time I'll be Messi fan. If the majority is Cristiano Ronaldo, I'll be the fan of Cristiano. But I just focus on their good deeds,
Yeah.
their quotes, their thoughts, their kindness, their charity, social works.
Yeah. I think most of these players do a lot of charity. And again, I'm not across it. What they do in particular in their own personal life. If they do it, I think it's a great thing. But they all should do it. They're well capable of doing it. But to me, like, they're
Okay,
all the same. Yeah.
all right. Are you addicted to drugs or social media or mobile phone?
Drugs, no. Social media
But
is like a two different thing altogether. I wouldn't say addicted to it, but I use it quite a lot. I've got a YouTube channel which I've recently started. It's not
mhm.
really that great, and I've got Instagram and stuff that I upload a lot of stuff, something every day almost.
Do you have Telegram account, LinkedIn, and Twitter?
I've got Twitter, which I don't use a lot. I've got LinkedIn, I've got Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. That's it.
Are you a blogger or vlogger?
I've started vlogging recently.
Oh, about about
Traveling.
traveling.
Yeah.
So I think you may hit a lot of subscribers. You may have
Not
many
really.
more
No.
subscribers.
No, I've only just started. I've only started recently. I don't have many at all. But that's
What's the
okay. If someone
beautiful
want to
name
watch
of
it, they
your
can.
channel, your YouTube channel name, please?
Oh, it's it's called Brown Aussie. I saved it on
Brown
under my
Ocean.
name. Brown
Yeah,
Aussie, yeah.
okay. Right.
That's my YouTube
So
channel. Yeah.
finally, let me just ask you, what's your opinion about our programs, our platform, Gesto International? I think you have joined in several
Oh
meetings.
yeah.
So what's
Yeah,
your
I have,
experience?
yeah.
Can you please tell
I
me?
look, I've joined many other meetings as well, and I joined because I want to see what people are doing, and I want to learn the culture and how people are, how I could possibly help, but also how I can learn something out of it as well. And I think yours is very unique, where it's very centric, but also very managed. It's very organized. The group, unlike other groups, is you can only have yourself putting material in that group, which makes it really interesting and makes it very centric. You don't have like all the crap in the other groups. I get hundreds and thousands of messages from other groups. Yours, like, just one, like, there's a time allocated, everyone jumps on the call, and I feel like a lot of your members are joining you very regularly, which I don't find in a lot of other meetings. And I think the reason for that is because you structure your meetings very well. You talk on a topic, you give everyone an opportunity to talk, and the topics are very interesting. So no, you're doing a really good job. I really like it.
So, Mr. Usman, this is all about our podcast or interview or talk show, whatever it is. I think this is, not a formal talk, but a friendly talk. I would like to do this again and again with you. Now it's time to go and bid goodbye and see you later with another stunning session. Hope you'll be available.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me, and have a great day.
Yeah, good luck and thank you for
Thank
joining.
you.
See you later.
Bye.